March 3rd, 2023, on the road to WrestleMania. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast talking about the Go Home show on Rampage tonight, talking about the real build
I'm like,
for
Go Home
Mania.
show for what? I forgot about Rampage and Revolution.
Rampage has a pay-per-view this weekend. I know. WWE, I felt like the real build for Mania started tonight with Roman and Cody in the ring facing off.
Cody, let's
Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him. Okay. Sorry.
I've got thoughts, and we're gonna discuss them all. And so much to get into tonight. So we're gonna talk about Rampage, talk about SmackDown. But Alfred, before we jump into that, what's going on in the news?
Yeah, let's get this news out of the way before we head to the real main event, Cody Rhodes, and start with Komander, who competed in the Face of the Revolution casino ladder match. It was very well received, and he had very star-making performance. Some would say a breakout with a lot of impressive spots. Turns out Komander is not under contract with AEW. He's currently competing over in Mexico. They wanted Hijo del Vikingo to be in that position, but weren't able to get him. So they sent Komander, and he's now received a lot of buzz. And he is open, possibly with the Mexican promotion Chaos's blessing. He's open to either going to AEW or WWE. His services could be available to both. But a very strange story, given how much he was given in that match. He was pretty much the star in that match. It was him, Sammy, and Action Andretti. But it looks like he's a free agent, and it'll be interesting to see if an NXT, if a WWE tries to make a play for him, because it would be good for the narrative for WWE. And you know this is also a media war, Issa.
He was incredible in that match. Yeah. He was doing some crazy stuff in there. I wouldn't be shocked if I'm sorry, I'm being bullied by my dog right now. But I wouldn't be shocked if everybody tries to pursue him and make him become a part of that company. He did some very memorable spots, and I was very impressed. Not familiar with him at all, but I was very impressed.
I heard it was great. Do you think WWE would do a spite signing and just lock this down to take it off AEW's chessboard, or to drive up the cost?
100,000%. Yes, that's part of what makes a war so special. And this gets very petty behind the scenes. Don't believe what you hear. I know a lot of people publicly like to say, "Oh, we're not in a war, brother. Oh, no, we love each other." And the wrestlers do get along and stuff like that. But the companies hate each other, particularly more so WWE to AEW in terms of them wanting to show them up. And if WWE is able to scoop away a Komander, and the story is Komander showed up on one show one night and the other show the other night, I believe they would do that. I think that's one thing that's been missing from these wars. As great as the wrestling wars have been, growing up in the Monday Night Wars, there weren't as many contractual obligations where somebody could show up the night after on a show, which we saw plenty of times, and I thought that made it exciting. So if we see something like that with WWE and AEW, obviously on a smaller scale, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what happens. What else?
Speaking of free agents, Jay White is officially finished up with New Japan. Of course, he recently lost a loser leaves Japan.
You said it the wrong way. It's White.
Jay White is officially a free agent. And he's rumored to be either jumping to WWE or WWE or AEW as a potential free agent. Of course, he has shown up on AEW TV. He was part of the build to the Forbidden Door, but it looks like he's a legitimate free agent. I know that there was a story like this. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he was working an angle. But this time it seems to be legit. Jay White may have his services up for grabs. Where do you think he will land, Issa?
I don't know. I don't know, because I remember AEW debuting him in a weird backstage segment the first time he ever showed up in AEW, which to me made me feel like he didn't feel like they saw him as that big of a deal at that time. I did think he had a great build up, and the match that he was involved in was great. I have more dream matches for him in WWE, but I'm afraid of how he will be treated. As long as he can come as Jay White, Switchblade. That's the one thing that I would love to see. No matter where he ends up at, I would love to see the gimmick and the guy that we know from New Japan be the guy that shows up wherever he ends up as.
I don't know, man. They might LA Knight him if he goes to WWE.
LA Knight's doing great right now.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Come on.
He's over like crazy tonight. And
Let me talk to you, Glenn. Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Wait, is he? Ask me again. Ask me again, Glenn.
Is he over?
Yeah.
They'll make him Switchblade. They'll make him Switchblade Jay White, but it'll be a Switchblade comb, and he'll keep taking out and combing his hair.
Yeah, I gotta tell you something. I'm very consistent in the wrestlers that I like, but I don't know that I'm as consistent as Glenn throwing shade on LA Knight every chance I
Yeah,
get.
man.
You know, and Alfred, I think it's your fault Jay White's not staying with AEW. I think they saw one of your pro wrestling bits and they were like, this is too on the nose.
Now it's gonna be Jay Black in WWE.
No.
I was holding out hope, and I still am, that Jay White is going to be the big because it's not going to be Shawn Michaels coming back to wrestle Grayson Waller. People are saying it's Dragon Lee, and there are now Twitter wars between Dragon Lee and Grayson. That'd be fine, but I think it'd be a bigger deal if they were somehow able to get Jay White in that position against Grayson Waller.
That would be incredible, and I wish you would have not said it because now I need to see it.
I still like Gargano. I think Gargano makes a ton of sense.
Because he's doing so much better than LA Knight, right, Glenn?
Yes.
No, come on.
I do think it would make sense in NXT because Grayson Waller did get Johnny Gargano out of NXT. That's the last time we saw him there, and they were chanting piece of shit. It was a heated angle.
Yeah,
so.
Gargano needs like a soft reboot, and I think this will do that. He does that, and he goes back to the main roster.
Yeah. And the thing about Gargano, it's not like they're not using him or they just like buried him. Like they put him in an actual week-to-week storyline. It just wasn't that great of a storyline, and he's now since been lost in the shuffle.
Kelvin R. Alexander, $5, saying the hate is one-way traffic. Tony Twitter Fingers is the hater's ball, hater of the decade in this situation.
Hater's ball, hater of the decade. Kelvin.
I love it. Buck Nasty's mama's dish. It's a great sketch. Yeah. It is going both ways. I will say, I think it's more so WWE AEW because they don't want AEW here in the first place. And I think there's an inferiority complex where AEW wants to please WWE sometimes or wants to at the very least be like them or try to be friends with them. And I don't think they're as ruthless as they should be with WWE, which, they're very ruthless in this whole world.
Yeah. What else is in the news?
REELZ, shout out to my guy, Court Bauer. MLW has had some weirdness going on recently. It looks like, they were obviously in that lawsuit with WWE over antitrust issues that got thrown out of court over them having their deal blocked with Fubo TV, they claim. And now, weeks after signing a deal with REELZ, which would air MLW Underground, REELZ signed a deal with Peacock, and because WWE has exclusivity, now MLW will not be able to air on Peacock. So it's kind of a similar situation, kind of not, where WWE is now blocking MLW from airing on Peacock, but because they had an exclusivity clause, it sounds a lot more legal. Still, Court Bauer and MLW are taking WWE to court over these matters, it looks like. And so this war continues. It's said, this has not been confirmed, but it has been reported that REELZ has a 10-week deal with MLW before a potential cancellation, which we don't know that. I want to make it clear that has not been confirmed. It's just been reported in a couple of places. But it looks like more legal battles for MLW and WWE. And MLW, check it out. It's been a good show. I really do support the product and really like it a lot. I've talked to him a couple of times on Forbes, and he does put on a good product, but it seems like they're up against it legally, Glenn.
I've heard it's great. And I think that, it's the same problem that NWA had. Same problem Ring of Honor is going to have. Is just, I think there's so much wrestling right now. It's really hard to get a critical mass, especially this time of year. I think right now with the AEW pay-per-view this weekend, within the road to WrestleMania, do you guys feel like there's a void where you go, I could go to watch more wrestling each week? I could go for a few more hours.
No.
Yeah, I think we're just at peak wrestling right now, and it's tough. But I've heard nothing but good things about it. I like a lot of the talent on MLW. Something I keep meaning to catch up on, but I think it is a tough time right now.
And now we have Ring of Honor added to the mix as well. I'm like, people are like, have you seen MLW? And then I just realized I haven't watched this Ring of Honor episode. There is definitely a lot of wrestling to consume right now. It's very hard to keep up with it.
I know. And what about when Control Your Narrative comes back? Where are we going to make the time?
We all
going to make for everybody. They're going to be number one when they come back, so it's going to be tough.
Man.
Well, speaking of low ratings, AEW Dynamite ratings dropped.
The transition.
It dropped like a brick. 833,000 with a 0.27 in the demo. Very low rating for the go-home show of AEW Revolution. Of course, AEW did that Great number the week before, 1.028 million.
When there was an announcement?
When there was an announcement. And right on cue, Tony Khan has said and has teased that there will be more announcements. There better be more announcements if you want people to come back and watch this show, because AEW Dynamite did not do a good number at all with a loaded show and no announcements. So people just don't seem to be into the product outside of the gimmicks.
When you say loaded, what do you mean?
Well, they did announce a lot. They tried. And I'm saying what AEW feels is loaded, right? They had MJF and Bryan Danielson on the same show. They had 2 battle royals. They did announce a lot, and they packed the show up, in a way that I think they thought they were going to do a big number, and they absolutely did not.
So if these were the loaded Tato skins at Applebee's, would you be satisfied and be like, these are adequately loaded?
That's such a Chili's menu item. They don't have loaded potato skins at Applebee's.
Oh, we can get the custom order for you when we go to Applebee's, Issa.
We're never going to go there unless you're buying, because our bet, we're going to end up at Olive Garden, especially after we saw what we saw tonight.
I highly disagree. And that's all for the news.
He ate your boy alive. He ate your boy alive.
And
he looked like a basic bitch out there, and you already know
training wheels on.
She's going to order so many dippings that she's going to drink the marinara right from the dipping tray. Not even bother.
I'm just gonna start the order with a bottle of wine, because I don't eat a lot, so I'm not gonna get my money worth on food.
And get the bottle, not the table wine service, which is cheaper, and just every drink is an Italian soda. And you're like, I want mixed flavors in the Italian soda because that costs more.
Listen.
That is your news, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you, Alfred, for that.
Tonight,
Cody Rhodes to it, Glenn. Come on.
Roman Reigns. I have thoughts.
I'm
just going to put this
Let's hear your thoughts, Glenn. Let's hear it.
You're Switzerland in this situation.
Here's the very PG version of this. Okay. Roman Reigns was out there. He had swagger. He said to Cody, like, your father, I thought these things of myself. Your father's the one that helped me think this of myself. He never mentioned you. Roman, in very few words, laid out the case. And Cody just talked a mile fast. Like, okay, if I'm on a date with each of these guys, right? Like,
pause.
Roman don't need to say anything. It's like, I'm yours. You got me.
Yeah, exactly.
With Cody, it's like, dude, just shut up and kiss me already. Like, you were talking me out of this the more you keep talking.
You still got 4 weeks. You want him to kiss you already? Come on.
No, I'm saying, are
you a Riz god or what?
It's the first date. We're just kissing. You may be a little over the close stuff. But what I'm saying is, he was talking so much that the more he was talking, the less attracted to him I was. The more he was talking, if he just would have kept his mouth shut, like mystery would have gone a mile for Cody Rhodes tonight, because he did not have swagger. He seemed a little nervous.
You know what my favorite thing was? Is when he said, "I'm not even on even playing field here," and I was like, "You're not, bro. You come out there in your little suit, looking like a tryhard. Roman in his sweatpants, sneakers, and t-shirt look a million levels above you."
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And you guys know how I feel about this. And look, with Sami Zayn, if it was a first date, we would just talk about feelings. He told me I feel safe. And I'm like, I'm marrying this guy.
You will freaking marry him the same night and give him.
Oh, yeah.
You will end up in 90-day fiance, because you will give him all the citizenship, I would be like, everything that he needs. You will give it to him right there.
You get me, Sammy. You just look into my soul and talk about feelings. But no, look, tonight, Roman looked like the champion. Cody, like, if this was not
Roman is the champion.
Okay, no. Alfred, if this was not the big get from AEW, this would have looked...
Alfred wasn't here, and I told you he's a little delusional. Yeah. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if you remove the AEW storyline from this looks like a filler feud where Roman's gonna win. It's actually crazy that
what part of this feud is the AEW storyline?
No. If not for that, I would say Cody has no chance. But I do think he's going to win.
Thank you, because he did say, "Oh, every goalpost I have smashed it," and I'm like, "What goalpost? Being Stardust and starting a company that you ran away from? Like, you haven't really what? Tell me what goals you."
Yeah. By the way, he started a company. He co-founded a company he doesn't own any of. How dumb is that? Alfred, if I say tomorrow, like, let's co-found a company and you leave, and I'm like, you get zero equity, brah, you would just be like, damn, I got played. Like, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make Cody look good to say that he co-founded.
We should let Alfred say.
I'm patient with you. Get it out of your system. This is some of the worst takes I've ever heard, but get it out of your system. I'm used to it. Get it out of your system. I'll go when it's my turn.
I'm just saying, Cody tonight, I think he's gonna win. So Alfred, I'll give you that. I think Cody's gonna be champ and Roman's gonna take some time off. But I'm saying tonight, no. This was like this was like B Rabbit on his way to the freestyle finals. This was not like bodying Papa Doc B Rabbit tonight.
Is it my turn yet? Whenever it's my turn, I'll go.
It's definitely your turn.
And now with a rebuttal, Mr. Alfred Konuwa.
That reminded me of Roman Reigns' promo tonight, just sputtering, stammering, forgetting his words, looking down. We already saw a much better version of what Roman Reigns had to say from Paul Heyman. I love this segment, by the way. I am biased toward Cody, and I will put that out there. Unlike a lot of these wrestling media types, I'll tell you exactly my bias.
I'm biased towards Roman. I'm with you on that.
But I love this storyline, and I've always loved Roman Reigns, even when he was getting booed out of 4 WrestleManias in a row. But the thing about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns getting together in this segment, I found it was a very good segment, but what Roman had to say, and they set up Roman Reigns to be the guy because they have to pace this. It's a fake wrestling story. It's scripted. So this script called for the fake wrestler Roman Reigns to say something to Cody, and then Cody will come back with his bars. They can't give it all away, even though you want to have fornication on the first date. But what Roman Reigns was scripted to say was very similar to what Paul Heyman said. And Paul Heyman is, to borrow a phrase, on a whole different playing field than Roman Reigns when it comes to promos. Roman Reigns has come a long way from suffering succotash, but he ain't Paul Heyman. And hearing him cut another version of the Dusty Likes Me Better promo and sputter through it, it was like watching an open mic comedian go on after Chris Rock, and shout out to Chris Rock, who's going to be live tomorrow. I can't wait for that. Chris Rock, obviously almost as good of a comedian as I am. But I thought watching this segment that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns came off as a main event segment. I enjoyed the segment. I thought Roman Reigns was cute with his little lines that he had to say. And I thought that it came off as a top babyface in the company against the second biggest heel in the company in Roman Reigns, because Dominic Mysterio is a bigger heel than Roman Reigns ever will be. If you watch the crowd reaction, the crowd popped huge for Roman Reigns. They were cheering this guy as a quote-unquote heel, but they were cheering even louder for Cody Rhodes. And I think they can't go here, but I would love if this was part of the narrative, because Roman Reigns is talking about, I main evented WrestleMania, you never have, and stuff like that. But the funny thing about that, it's like, yeah, but Cody Rhodes is the opposite of Roman Reigns main eventing all that WrestleMania, because this is a babyface main eventing for the first time that people want to see. And the difference is, and the underlying difference in this, is that Roman Reigns, for years, they tried with him as a babyface, and it did not work at all. He got booed out of 4 separate WrestleManias in a row. I was in the building for all 4 of those WrestleManias where Roman Reigns got booed out of the building like Kanye West at a bar mitzvah. So I think that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is going to be a tremendous storyline, and they are going to build toward this fantastically. Week 1, I think they knocked it out of the park. Roman Reigns was fine. He was no Paul Heyman. Back to you guys.
Randy Hawkins, $5 super chat saying, I bet Issa's upset. The bloodline's
Who
imploding.
cares about the bloodline?
Oh, yes, it is.
Like, let's talk about the BDE move that Roman Reigns did when he was like, go away. Like, he sent Solo, he sent Jimmy, he sent Paul. He was like, I don't need you guys. Like, this is the minor leagues. I'm fine handling this alone. Let's start by that. I'm not sad. The bloodline is no longer a thing that I care about. I care about Roman beating Cody. I don't care about the bloodline at this point in my life.
Kelvin R. Alexander, $5 saying, this was by design, Glenn. They have to build Cody up to win verbally and physically. I feel like they've been doing that, though. That's why the face-off was so important.
First of all, physically, it's never going to happen. Like, unless you can make him grow 5 inches and 500 pounds in the next, 4 weeks.
500 pounds trying to kill us, man?
You already know he looked like such a tryhard. No offense. He comes out there with all of his pyro and all of these cute little things. His cute little suit, he looked like a tryhard. He did.
Wow.
And everything about this promo, he said it himself. And I love this segment. I love both of them. And you can go back and watch my watch along, in which when Roman finished cutting his promo, I was actually screaming, come on, Cody, let's go, Cody, because I needed a comeback from him, because tonight it literally felt like the build-up for WrestleMania. We needed that face-off between the two of them. I really enjoyed what Paul Heyman and Cody did, but it never felt like the build-up was starting up until tonight. I really did think they killed it, both of them. But if I had to, and I will keep track, I even started a little notepad thing here for my watch-alongs. Round 1, Roman Reigns.
Oh, of course. That's how it was scripted. It was definitely scripted for Roman Reigns to go over, but it was like, even though it was scripted that way, he didn't really. He got material to destroy Cody Rhodes or whatever to get the better of him, and Cody Rhodes was just kind of scripted to be the better man and be the mature babyface. But it just didn't hit because I just heard
Cody
Paul
was
Heyman do that so
destroyed
much
the
better.
second the second that Roman sent his goons away is already almost a disrespectful thing to Cody, where it's like, I don't need any of this. Like, he
But who
knows he can
requested
handle
that?
Cody easily.
Yeah,
Cody, because he's a pussy.
Okay.
But I'm sorry.
Randy Hawkins, $5 saying, my son likes Cody. Cody might be this generation's Hulk Hogan. I know I'm in the Hogan generation. Cody is sort of, they're making him sort of white meat. I mean, like ultra white meat babyface, which I mean, so if you take away the AEW factor, like that's what makes Cody cool, is that he left and he came
To who?
back.
To who?
To the fans. To the fans.
No, not to just the fans. And this is something that just happened embodies the Cody factor. A paying customer of this podcast paid $5 to say, my son likes Cody. The son probably doesn't know about these inner working political issues between AEW. These paying customers love Cody Rhodes, and people who maybe watch too much wrestling and the hardcore fans might be thumbing their nose at it. But every week, this guy's getting cheered everywhere he goes because the people who count, the paying customers, love Cody Rhodes.
So Mia Lee, $4.99. Saying, when Ray knocks Dom out, that pop was going to be crazy. Can we give a shout out to Lita, the first female Hall of Famer to win a title? Scarlett, so sexy. Thank you, Mia Lee. Yeah, congrats to Lita. Heard Raw. I saw the news Monday night. Very impressed, very shocked by that all happening.
Yeah, very interesting.
No, I think this will be interesting to see where we go in the Cody Rhodes championship era of WWE.
I think it's gonna be great. They're setting up heels for him, and nothing is forever. But I think that it's a good thing that WWE seems like they're bringing out the best in themselves, knowing they have to prepare for life after Roman. That's why they're setting up Gunther with this long win streak. They're doing a good job with Bronson Reed, who they showcased in the Elimination Chamber. And I do think he's going to have a steady stable of heels to contend with.
Okay, let's play Price is Right game here on the over under. And he said, I need you to suspend disbelief for the purpose.
Not going to happen.
Okay, Alfred, your prediction of how many days Cody Rhodes' title reign lasts.
That's a tough one because Cody's Dusty's kid. And as we spoke about on our previous podcast on Tuesday, when Issa was not here, Cody Rhodes, just like Dusty Rhodes, they think alike. And Dusty Rhodes is a guy who believed that babyfaces shouldn't have world titles for very long. Cody Rhodes and the company that he started, Roman Reigns is an industry plant. He's somebody that the company really got behind until they gaslighted people into cheering for him. But Cody Rhodes, when they didn't like him, he left and started his own company. And even then, he didn't even challenge for the world title because I do think that Cody Rhodes thinks that world title for a babyface is something that you should always be chasing. So I don't know.
Maybe he knows that he's not worth title. He's probably
100 days.
He's aware.
Wait, we're gonna dethrone Roman, Mr. Almost 1,000 days for 100-day title reign?
Do you want back to back? I love this idea.
I don't.
That one person gets 1,000 days, so the other people have to get 1,000 days. Like we told the 1,000-day story. Cody Rhodes may not be a 1,000-day storyline type of champion, and that's perfectly fine.
I think if it was going to be a 3-month championship, all the arguments against Sami Zayn go out the window. All the reasons about, we wouldn't want Sami to be the face of the company long term and yada yada. It's 100 days.
I cannot wait to get my Roman Reigns logo tatted because I said that in my stream when he makes it to 1,000 days as champion.
Okay.
You're over here talking about how many days Cody Rhodes gonna be champion. Let's talk about how many days Roman keeps being champion. That's the conversation we need to be having.
So Issa, you're having a nightmare. Cody Rhodes wins the championship. Please don't use the word nightmare
around me. It triggers me. Thank you.
Let's go, Cody.
Cody wins the championship. How many days is Cody champion?
He's not winning. So I'm not answering a question.
Okay.
That is not
200 days,
like,
300 days. What are we saying?
I'm going to say till SummerSlam. I'm going to say maybe like 120 to 150 days. That's my prediction.
I could see it.
First of all, they'll split them. If Cody was to win, they will split the titles because it's not worth to be a double champ. So the first thing he will do is watch me be a big baby face and defend both of my titles on the next pay-per-view. He'll drop one immediately. Let's start by that. Let's just be real. He will drop one of these titles immediately at the next PLE.
Wow.
I think they've
dead
done
ass.
such a good job with Cody Rhodes as a babyface that if they do split these titles up, I don't think it'll be something where he
What
just
job
loses
have
it.
they done? Alfred
I
came
think
back at the
he's-
Rumble at number 30 and won, and then they have him cry on TV every freaking Monday. Cody Rhodes cries as much as Jon Moxley bleeds every week. You saw him tonight holding back, like he's over there. Roman is speaking, and he's over there like. Like, come on, bro.
Wait,
like,
do that
act like
again?
a man.
Do that again?
Because he didn't want a tear to come out, so he's like holding it, So he's like,
This is all. No, my turn. My turn.
Make
This
the
is
animated
all.
GIF.
This is all subjective. Like all these, I've loved Cody Rhodes' promos, but again, we are different. So we can sit here until we're blue in the face about whether or not Cody Rhodes' promos are crying or not. And if they are good, men should cry more. My point is, in terms of factual indicators, which I go by, key performance indicators, like we can sit here and do the hardcore wrestling narrative of, I don't like Cody Rhodes.
dropped the first
But
title
the
at the
pops
first
are huge.
PLE
Fact.
immediately.
Cody
after
Rhodes is
WrestleMania.
setting records as a live event draw the way they haven't done since
Records
John Cena.
of tears cried
Cody
by.
Rhodes selling out merchandise in Canada, Sami
Cute.
Zayn's territory, selling out
You
merchandise.
think his
like
fans
nobody-
are using the merchandise to wipe their tears when he
Cody
cries?
Rhodes'
They're like,
quarter-hour segments are the highest-rated segments they've had in years. Fact. So as a babyface, I think he's doing pretty good. He's at least doing better than Roman Reigns ever did as a babyface because that
Wow.
was horrible.
Randy
I love how
Orton.
you're living in the past. Like, you can't even comment around Roman Reigns now.
Oh, no.
You keep going to the days that Roman Reigns was booed because you have no argument against the tribal chief, head of the table, Roman Reigns. So you're over here like, you're acting like the IWC right now. Like, oh, remember Stone Cold? Remember this? Oh, when Roman was a babyface. We're past those days, Alfred.
No, we're
So
not.
start making. He is not wrestling the big dog Roman Reigns. He is wrestling the
Thank
tribal
God.
chief, head of the table. So why don't you use some examples about that? As a matter of fact, remember Roman crying when he did the Jey Uso story. It was efficient. He did not look like a pussy. Thank you
Yes, he did.
very much.
He
Please
absolutely did.
start using valid today comparisons for Cody Rhodes, because when the big dog was here, Cody Rhodes ran away to start a company that he also ran away from. Let's keep that in mind.
When the big dog was here, Cody Rhodes ran away along with millions of other viewers watching the big dog being forced on television. And the examples I use are very current examples about business.
funny
Did you not
because
hear
the main
about the
event-
ratings,
the place-
the
you
merchandise
know,
that they're
like,
selling,
the best
pops that Cody
PLE,
Rhodes is getting in modern day
the best
WWE?
PLE
the events
that
that are being sold out?
WWE
These are all
did.
modern day statistics, ladies and
Let me
gentlemen.
tell you, the best PLE, the numbers don't lie. You say that all the time on your channel. I watch you. You know this. I'm an
Yeah,
avid pro wrestling bits. The numbers don't lie. The best PLE, where's the one with the bloodline? And Sami Zayn, and where was Cody? Oh yeah, he was, I don't know, nurturing a little injury. He wasn't even around here for that. Come on. This is his first real test. It's WrestleMania, and he's not walking away victorious. He's not.
So are you moving the goalposts again the way Cody Rhodes is saying people do? Because this sounds like moving the goalposts. First it was, oh, these fans are going to turn on him. They didn't turn on him. Then it was, Sami Zayn has to be in the main event. It didn't happen. They still didn't turn on him. Then it's, oh, Cody Rhodes isn't ready. He can't draw. He did draw. He's doing all these things. And then when he wins the title, it's going to become, well, 100 days. How long is he going to have this title? Who's he going to face? And he's going to probably have great storylines then. People do keep moving the goalposts with Cody Rhodes. And I don't fault Cody Rhodes for leaving AEW. I think that's a tremendous idea. In the wrestling business, if you want to make money, if you want to headline WrestleMania, if you want to be a big star the way Cody Rhodes is, the way nobody is in this business like Cody
You
Rhodes.
just used
Hold on, I'm not
like
done yet.
WrestleMania.
Daddy's not done.
Cody Rhodes
Daddy's
is
not
the same
done.
sentence. He's only
Daddy's
getting it
not
because
done.
Roman Reigns
No,
is
he's
a
not.
part of it. He's
Daddy's
only
not
getting
done.
it because Roman Reigns is a part of it. He was here for what? How many years? And he didn't get it before? Please.
So
Let Daddy cook. No, Daddy's not done. As I was saying, as Daddy
Daddy,
was
please
saying,
order takeout because your cooking
as Daddy was
freaking
saying,
sucks right now, bro.
Daddy was saying,
Get
Cody
some Uber
Rhodes
Eats
left,
up in here.
Get
Get some
AEW.
Uber Eats.
He comes back to WWE as a bigger star, which is the name of the game in this business. That's
Oh
what
my
every
God.
wrestler wants to be. Cody Rhodes is the envy of the entire professional wrestling business. Why? Because he
neck
left.
tattoo.
He bet on himself.
It's
He
the
made
neck
a lot of
tattoo.
money.
Definitely
he
the
left
neck
that company.
tattoo.
He
No,
came
it's
back
the
with the neck
suits.
tattoo,
It's
and he
the
drew a lot of
suits.
money there.
It's the suits.
Cody
People
Rhodes
are
is a
dying to come out there in
one-man
their three-piece
draw.
suits and their suits and just cry with their bad bleach job and their tatted. Yeah, he's definitely the
More
MVP.
men need to cry. More men with neck tattoos need to cry. Cody Rhodes is an inspiration to men with neck tattoos everywhere, saying, you know what? It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry after a job interview that you didn't get. It's okay to cry with a neck tattoo. And that's why Cody Rhodes is an inspiration. Let's go, Cody.
Uber
NFL
Eats. Your
Hall
cooking
of,
sucks, bro.
NFL Hall of
Great
Famer
cooking.
Rosie
It's great African
Greer.
cooking, let me tell you.
Rosie Greer with his cross stitch told us, it's all right to cry. Told us that in the 70s. Might even make you feel better. It's a great song.
It does.
You and me. WWE, where the average fan is age 50 years old. Randy Hawkins wants to let us know with the super chat that Randy's son is 6. I showed him a WWE Cody bleacher cream arbster for the hair. I bought it for him. He loves Cody. He wants to dye his hair like Cody.
But what do these paying customers know? It's all about what the hardcores think and their opinions. No, it's about the paying customers. And if you look at the money, if you look at the numbers that do not lie, they support one Cody Rhodes. And Roman Reigns to a small degree, but Cody Rhodes.
To a smaller degree. Kelvin Alexander, $2 says Cody Rhodes still Survivor Series.
I love that.
Wow, that's a whole, what, 90 days or something like that?
Mick Cloud, $5 saying Issa and Alfred need to have this debate on ESPN the night of the WrestleMania match.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be having it in Inglewood while we have drinks together because, you know.
Randy saying Issa sounds like Corey Graves with Carmella with Roman. Issa, you know, Roman is married, girl.
I do know that he's
Randy,
married. As a matter of fact, I see Roman being married as an opportunity because she's hot. Have you seen his wife? So the more the merrier.
Oh, don't discount. I mean, I think Alfred might be getting middle of the night text from Cody, given how much.
Oh, that 1,000%.
Completely platonic. I cannot say confirm or deny. They're all platonic. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's all good.
Cody Rhodes is also married as well to a beautiful black woman. I would never step out on her marriage.
Both of them. At least we know both of our guys have excellent taste in women. They should come out there and cut a promo about that.
My wife is hotter than yours.
Anyways, Roman Reigns ate Cody Rhodes alive today, and it was a beautiful segment. And I really do think that it felt like the beginning of the build-up for this match. And like Alfred said, there was one point that I'm like, come on, Cody, give me the comeback. And the fact that they didn't give me a strong comeback for Cody makes me want more. You know, so yeah. I personally thought that this was a super strong start to SmackDown, and I love it lived up to the build-up of seeing them finally face to face.
It was so
good. Backstage we have Liv Morgan. Is this the first time I hadn't heard this on SmackDown where she actually said "watch me" to the interviewer at the end of her promo? No, I liked that a lot.
That's her catchphrase.
She said it before.
I know she says it in the intro, but I can't remember saying it in promos.
No, she said it before.
Okay.
Especially when she had that period of time when she was going crazy and jumping off of things and all that. I remember her saying it.
Solid. So tonight, my high point of this match with Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan with Dominic Mysterio in tow, and Rhea making Liv tap out. Liv got some offense in, but after this, and Rhea and Dominic, my wife turns to me and says out loud, "Wait a second, are we supposed to believe that Rhea is having sex with Dominic Mysterio?"
No.
Yes, she's blowing his back out. They said it last week. He said that his back is sore because of Rhea Ripley. She's blowing his back out. They are. That's his girlfriend.
My wife could suspend disbelief for a lot of things. I don't think that's one of them.
She doesn't believe that Dominic could get a woman like Rhea?
Dominic could get any woman he wants. With that street cred that he now has, I have no doubt in Dominic. But we know that he's in a committed relationship. Recently got engaged. Rhea commented on the post. It's a beautiful thing what they have. Very open, if you know what I mean.
I thought this was good. There was a missed opportunity. I might have missed it or whatnot, but Liv Morgan was the last person to beat Rhea Ripley. The last time she lost was in May of last year to Liv Morgan, and I didn't remember hearing that brought up, and I think that was an opportunity for them to really talk that up.
No, we can't do that right now because we're trying to build Rhea. So why talk about Rhea losing when we're trying to build her for Charlotte? I did expect to see a Charlotte appearance here. I thought it was weird that we didn't get that.
I love Rhea. She looked phenomenal tonight. Very dominant.
Let her blow my back out too.
You don't have to necessarily just say she lost, but bringing up the fact that it was almost a year ago that she lost a match, that could be a talking point.
I just want the green light just to shift this podcast entirely and just how we talk about wrestlers.
I'm sorry.
By the way, one of Roman Reigns' lines, and this is a cause for concern for me, is that he said he's been groomed since he was a little boy, which sounds like a very, very serious allegation. I know WWE is trying to go Hollywood for WrestleMania. Let's not go too Hollywood, okay?
Randy Hawkins said he meant the bleacher creature.
I kind of knew what he meant, but
I thought it meant bleacher.
Because ain't nobody saying Cody and creaming in the same sentence. He ain't making nobody cream. So I already knew what he was.
Yourself.
Maybe Alfred. Okay, Alfred does cream for Cody.
Thousands and millions of others. Millions
Alfred,
are
we're talking
creaming.
about creaming, okay? You can like him, you can be a fan, you can respect him, but the creaming effect only comes to somebody that looks like Roman Reigns, not Cody Rhodes.
Dylan Matthews, where you at in the chat? I need creaming Cody Rhodes t-shirts stat.
Ain't nobody creaming for Cody Rhodes. Sorry,
I need him in white
not
font,
sorry.
Dylan.
Even my dog is over here, like, come on. But we know what you meant. Is what I'm saying. But thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Randy.
This podcast is just.
So
we got 4 weeks of this, Glenn. I hope you're ready.
It's gonna be some of the greatest broadcasting you've ever heard in your life.
Santos Escobar was talking to Dominic backstage. They had a match. So we had Dominic with Rhea out there against Santos. Dominic getting the win, which is good. And then Dominic confronting Ray, ripping his mask up.
Dominic got the win thanks to Rhea Ripley being a badass on the outside and like ending. She almost sent Santos to his creator. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I love Michael Cole in the storyline, and what makes Dominic so effective, I think, especially on television, is Michael Cole it's a very old school thing. He's so incensed by Dominic. He doesn't do this with very many people, where he's always saying how, he's bringing out his girlfriend. He should be ashamed of himself. And I think it really helps.
And at one point he screamed, he's like, referee, turn around, do your job.
Yeah,
because Rhea was like distracted. It was hilarious. I popped for that.
It was good. It was a fun match. And yeah, they had that crowd shot when Liv was losing to that little girl, like just very sad and upset.
Did you see that video of Liv meeting that little girl? That was some of the most wholesome things I ever seen. It was beautiful. She had the little girl come back. I just tweeted it before we went live. Nice. She had the little girl come backstage, gave her a big hug. Cute stuff.
Okay, so
something Cody Rhodes would do.
Okay, I actually tweeted a video of Cody Rhodes giving his belt to a fan. That was very
actually, wait a second. Okay, this is a good point. Not that we're going to run this Cody and Roman thing to the ground, although we're totally going to. Okay, so if Cody's going to be champ for 100 days, that's the Liv Morgan effect. Like Cody Rhodes is the male Liv Morgan, that he's going to have this feel-good moment. Everyone's going to be behind him. He's going to lose that championship, and then he's going to be jobbing to Gunther 6 months from now, a year from now.
That is
like Liv beat Ronda Rousey.
Who does Cody loses it to? That's the question. Seth Rollins, the first one. The first one, as I mentioned, the first PLE, Seth Rollins.
You know who Cody loses to? Kenny Omega. That's who. That's my pick. Kenny Omega.
I thought he was delirious 5 minutes ago, and now it just hit a whole new.
Kenny Omega is coming into the territory, and that's who Cody drops it to. And then we'll get the AEW guys are taking over narrative. That'll be a lot of fun.
All right. I would actually like that. I would actually like that. Not even gonna lie.
I mean, that'll be some trippy shit if that happens. Terry Allen Jr. saying Santos can gain new Hispanic audiences. I mean,
I love Santos tonight.
We need somebody to really represent, because Rey Mysterio has looked like nothing but weak in this.
I was gonna say there's been a booking problem.
Yeah,
I disagree.
First of all, I would like to put all of the blame on Rey Mysterio's wife. No offense, a lot of respect for this magnificent woman. But there was no way my sister and I would ever disrespect my dad and not have my mom coming out right behind him with some kind of belt, chancletas. What actually, my mom was a savage. Whatever she could find, that's what we were getting, okay? Hangers, it didn't matter. There was no way any of us were gonna talk to our dad in any kind of disrespectful way and not pay the price. It would not come from that. So I can see why Rey will be like, I'm not hitting you. It would have came from mom in my family. Spanish moms, stand up. And you know what I'm talking about. Rey Mysterio needs to just already beat this kid up or bring somebody to beat him up.
That's the story they're telling. That's what I like about it. I don't think there's a booking problem here. I think they're doing this brilliantly. They're milking the heat that Dominic has. And it's straight out of WrestleMania 1998, WrestleMania 14, Undertaker and Kane. The build-up to that was great. Match, not so much. But the build-up was great. And that the Undertaker said, I'm not going to fight my brother. I'm not going to put a single hand on my brother, until it became a fever pitch where he had to. And I think that it's working similarly with Rey Mysterio and Dominic.
Oh, shit. Vicky Guerrero, her contract is up with AEW.
Yeah. It is.
Vicky coming to like put Dom over her knee and spank.
Is there enough room in WWE for that much heat that Vicky and Dom would get together? I don't think there's enough room in any wrestling company for that much heat. But
oh my God. That would be incredible.
I'd love that. That's one of those things you see on paper. You're just like, yeah, that would work perfectly.
Like They have to do that, right? I mean, someone has to be pitching this with her contract with AEW being up.
He'll go from his mommy, M-A-M-I, to his mommy,
Yes.
M-O-M-M-Y.
Yes.
Like a woman who could literally. His
And I
stepmommy.
think Vicky might scare Rhea. I think Rhea might be like, I don't want none of that.
Yeah. The stepmommy. That'll be a great story.
That could be really good.
Yeah, I could. She is a free agent. Also, when this match happens, I need to see some chancla action. It has to happen. Like, they have to put some chanclas under the ring, and he has to do it.
Randy super chat saying, I get the feeling Rey Mysterio might have Santos fight Dominic at Mania. He does not want to fight Dom. I mean,
Dom has to retire Rey whenever Rey is ready to take that step. That's just what I feel. Like, I don't know when it'll happen, but whether they hold it for that long. I think splitting them in shows was a great idea because you don't see them interact all the time. But whenever Rey's ready for that, I do think that match has to happen, and it needs to be Dom.
no, it's saying Marco will also hold the belt.
There you go.
In what
Let's bring in Marco
promotion?
Stunt.
In what promotion?
Any.
Maybe Marco Stunt dethrones Cody Rhodes. Don't sleep on Marco now.
Please, Alfred, stop. I get that you're biased, but let's not lose credibility here.
I can see that Marco Stunt. He's got an outside chance.
So Drew McIntyre wants Gunther. Sheamus came out. LA Knight came out. The New Day came out. Karrion Kross came out.
Yeah, you got ruined there.
Everybody started fighting.
It's going to be a ladder match. Do you guys think?
Ooh, I didn't even think about. I mean, if they're doing a fatal 5-way, what are they going to have, like a 5-way count
I
out or
want to
something?
see a ladder match.
Yeah,
like, I
ladder
want to
match
see
would
all
be the
these
way to do
guys
it.
go with Gunther in a ladder match. Like the IC title on recent WrestleManias had some great ladder matches, and they stopped doing that. I wouldn't mind seeing that come back.
Cody had that amazing.
Cody had that moment with the pocket added ladder. Like, I popped for that. It was great. I just don't talk about Cody in the past to like talk about his storyline now because that's a cheap shot, you know. But I'm just saying, back then that was a great moment for Cody. He didn't win.
I love
also,
the past.
like always. Like, he didn't win, like he always does. But he did get a great pop. It's gonna be the same now. Great pop, not winning. But anyways, this is like a consistency thing. At least it's consistent, I guess.
I only talk about the past for terms of analysis because it's congruent.
Sure, buddy.
Because it's very interesting.
What
to
is
me
it? What is it that you're cooking? What is it that you're cooking? With Roman noodles or something?
When Roman Reigns was saying how Cody Rhodes has never main evented WrestleMania, that sounds like past tense to me. And to me, I think the correlation and the good comeback, if it was a real conversation, the good comeback would be, well, yeah, the only reason you main evented is because the company forced you into it and people still didn't want you and you had to turn heel afterwards. I think that'd be a great comeback. And I do think that there is a lot of legitimacy and a very interesting, rich story to tell in terms of Cody Rhodes being a babyface. Year one, people love him. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, people did not love Roman Reigns. They had to turn him heel in order for that to happen. And that's what I think is very interesting.
Randy Hawkins
$20 from
$20 from Randy. Randy Hawkins is on fire. Tony Khan seems so determined to buy WWE. I get the feeling the elite will invade WWE in a way we won't expect. Meltzer is pushing Tony hard to buy WWE. Also, could you imagine Cody Rhodes as champion and the next Monday it is announced that Tony Khan is buying WWE?
That would be the greatest thing ever. Cody Rhodes would throw that title in the trash that day.
Also, I love Randy and the super chats. Thank you for the support.
Thank you so much, Randy.
I love how we say Meltzer is pushing Tony Khan. Like, we're not talking about a $10 billion sale of a publicly traded company. Like, there's no Meltzer and Tony Khan here. There's so much more that goes into this. Like let's be realistic about this. This is not how selling of a major company goes. It's not like Meltzer calls Tony Khan and Tony Khan writes a check. Like, that is not the way that this
Meltzer's
is gonna go.
calling him and he's like, bro.
Bro, you gotta buy this, bro. Like me telling Alfred, buy the new Cody Rhodes shirt. Like, it's that's not how it goes.
By the way, buy a Tesla Cybertruck and let me drive it. Also,
I drive a Cybertruck. I drive it right on Twitter.
And it's indestructible, so it'll just go through the Shayna beat up Tegan Nox pretty easily tonight.
Poor Tegan.
I know.
I forgot that she was back.
Shayna was ready too. She like ran to the ring.
Yeah. Okay, but did you notice how they had Tegan come out to Natalia's music and Shayna come out to Ronda's music? Come on, bro.
So let's talk about this. So Gunther backstage was saying Adam Pearce has done a terrible job. I think we can all agree with that. But then we heard from Bobby Lashley responding to Bray and then getting attacked by Uncle
Glenn!
Howdy.
Glenn,
saw.
Muscle Man
I know.
Wyatt was back. I thought about you immediately.
And that was good. Bobby. It's funny Brock rejected this feud because Bobby seems like he's having less fun with this than Brock would have. Bobby seems to not know how to respond to this.
Of course he doesn't.
Also, he missed an amazing opportunity in that promo tonight. When he said Bray just keeps showing up and telling everybody run, maybe he should take his own advice.
Bars.
Like he set it up, and I thought he was going there. You know,
let him cook.
I mean, he should have been like, Bray probably can't remember the last time he ran a mile outside of Fortnite. I mean, they could have done something, but instead it was just kind of Bobby out there being like, ha ha, that's really funny and all. I mean, it was just this. I'm worried about how good this is going to end up.
I have zero expectations for this feud. In fact, my expectations are so low that every week that goes by that Bobby Lashley isn't made to look like a fool, I'm like, okay, not bad. And that's what I thought about this segment. It's like, okay, so he attacked somebody, they disappeared. He still looks like a badass. He's not running scared. So week 1, we're 1-0. Like my expectations are very low for this feud, and they have not failed yet. So
okay, but on a scale from like low to Brock Lesnar and Omos, how low are your expectations for this feud?
I think, I'm not excited particularly. I think it's very random that Brock Lesnar and Omos are fighting, but I do think that this is going to be one of those feuds that when people see it in the building, they're going to go crazy for it, especially when they see him F5 Omos. I've seen this movie play out. I remember people crying over Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. It was easily the best match in the building at WrestleMania 33, which was in the past, where Roman Reigns main evented, and the worst match was Roman Reigns main event.
Wasn't even Roman's fault that match sucked, and it was admitted by his co-person main eventing. He said the words were, "I was disgusted by that match," clearly sabotaging Roman Reigns. But we can talk about that differently,
Calvin, $2 saying wrestling dies if Tony Khan can't own WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW. Like that's too much wrestling.
Yeah, would this be see? That's when MLW should sue. Like that's an antitrust to me. If he owns all these companies. Needs a tar. Arsenio Hall needs to host WrestleMania in LA. And I agree. And we need to have the dog pound. He can call out the dog pound. But when they go to Ohio, if they ever, because where are they? No, they're in Detroit for SummerSlam, right? And I think they're in Philadelphia next year. But if
Detroit,
they ever come to Ohio, 100% Arsenio in Ohio. The only reason I know he's from Ohio is because his fictitious brother Chunky A, whose record I also bought, made a lot of references to being from Ohio. And I was like, I was born in Ohio. I popped for that as a kid. Chunky A. I got to check that out. Wait, you ever listened to Chunky A? No. Arsenio pretended he had this fat brother who came out and did one song was essentially cameos like Word Up, but just different lyrics. Right. But he has this song where he's apologizing to a woman about this ludicrous shit he did, about making long distance falls. Like, there's one very funny song on that record, and the rest of it is just terrible. Or Arsenio just wanted it to fade into obscurity. It was no MC Scat Cat in his solo record after working with Paula Abdul, Yeah. Yeah. Boogaloo Shrimp from Breakin' did the dance moves for MC Scat Cat, and they animated over that. Not really? Correct. You can see the video. The video is on YouTube of Boogaloo dancing with Paula Abdul. Video. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Ricky saying 8 miles SummerSlam in Detroit. The song "Things That Make You Go Ooh" was inspired by Arsenio Hall. Yes, things that make you go Yeah, yeah. That is the best CNC Music Factory song. People might say it's Everybody Dance Now. It's Things That Make You Go Definitely. Video for that, man. Freedom Williams though didn't realize till I was older that he really just bit Ice-T's style. Freedom's entire flow is Ice-T. Yeah, not a bad style to bite, but hugely influential. Just a lot of people bit Rakim's style, in terms of modern day hip hop. It's true. Uncle Howdy came out there. Okay, let's talk about what's going on with the Bloodline. So Roman wants to know if Jimmy talked to Jay. He didn't talk to him. If he's not back, right now Roman blames Sammy. If Jay's not back next week, he's going to blame Jimmy.
This is just all imploding. Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa is the main event tonight, with Solo getting the win. Solo and Jimmy beating up on Sammy. Sammy kind of getting it back and then escaping, retreating through the crowd again. Tell me if I'm crazy for this. I think as it stands right now, it will be 100 times better if it is Jay and Sammy versus Jimmy and Solo at Mania than it will be if it's KO versus and Sammy versus the Usos.
I would rather see Sammy versus Jay on a one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
I
think
would rather see some kind of implosion between Sammy and Jay, and I wouldn't mind seeing a Sammy and Jay one-on-one match. Jimmy and Solo have been here, so maybe they can be part of a tag team title. I don't know. I don't know how you make that happen, but I personally am more invested into Sammy and Jay individually than putting them in teams. And they are really even Roman now saying he doesn't blame Jay, he blames Jimmy. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. Look at that super.
Look at Randy Hawkins. Look at friend of the show, Randy Hawkins. Oh, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Randy Hawkins, $100, Randy. Thank
Uncle
you,
Randy.
Saying
Uncle
what
Randy,
I mean
get Uncle Howdy out of here. Uncle Randy.
Uncle Randy. Randy, $100 super chat. What I mean is Meltzer's reporting Saudi and Tony Khan are the two in the running for WWE, and Meltzer reports it like Tony is her only hope. I feel like it's going to Saudi,
right.
but I also agree with Eric Bischoff and Kevin Nash that Vince is taking WWE private.
I agree with everything that super chat says. I have no arguments.
WWE private with the Vince being able to just, oh my God, that'll just be like an unhinged, like octogenarian just running WWE into the ground. And,
I wouldn't want to see Tony Khan purchase WWE. I'll leave it. I'm not saying I want Saudi either, so maybe going private might be our only hope, honestly.
Okay, well, that brings up an interest. Issa and Glenn, you can chip in too. Saudi Arabia or Tony Khan? Who do we want purchasing WWE? No, come on now.
I think Tony Khan, because I would love for the federal government to bring an antitrust case to block this to go through. That would be incredible. If that's what finally blows up wrestling and unionization and the contracts and all that, is the government getting involved because of antitrust and then realizing how fucked this is, that would be an amazing outcome to this. So for that, I'm going to say TK.
Interesting. I like that answer. Issa, do you agree?
No.
No.
None of the above?
None. I have no answer. This is as unrealistic. I was thinking Cody's winning at Mania. It's ridiculous.
So very realistic, you're saying. I think Cody buys WWE. What do you think about that? The Nightmare Factory?
I actually think it's more realistic that Shane O'Mac comes back with some investment. With some private investors.
Yeah. Where has Shane been since last year's Rumble, getting $10 billion worth of investors to buy the company? I will actually pop for that.
If Vince does take it private, I bet you that's the storyline. Is they bring back Shane, probably not Stephanie because things are weird. I bet they give Shane an on-screen role in a storyline that he's taking the company private, coming back, and he's going to be in charge.
I got an email from them like on 24th of February, I think, because I'm a stockholder. And it was just talking about when Vince came back and added all the people that he added and the people that he removed. And I'm like, why are you telling me this like 3 months late? Like, is that how late they take to inform their stockholders of these things? If you're not keeping up with the news, these things are going on without you even knowing. Shame on them.
So here's the deal with the Bloodline storyline right now. The question about what is happening with Jay is an interesting one. But Kevin Owens, you know what Kevin Owens feels like? Alfred, it's like you're at Applebee's. You got your chicken strips and your fries, and they brought you out like, here's some barbecue sauce because you want a little tangy. You got your ketchup. You got your like sweet and sour honey mustard, and they're like, oh, and by the way, we thought you also might want some ranch. They give you this big bowl of ranch dressing, and you're like, what am I gonna do with this? I don't need this. This is completely inessential to the meal. That's what Kevin Owens feels like in this storyline. A big bowl of ranch dressing just sitting there that you really don't need for this to be a satisfying experience.
I could see that, and I completely agree that of all the pieces at or around this Bloodline storyline, I do feel like Kevin Owens might be like on the outside looking in the coldest piece. But the reason they do need him is because a big part of this Bloodline storyline is the fact that the Usos have this historic tag team run. And I agree that it might be more interesting to see, either Sami and Jay team up or go off on their own, but we have to end this historic run. And I think Kevin Owens absolutely makes sense. I think WWE is going to heat him up to where we are going to want to see that tag team match. And we could still spin off, because I do think eventually Sami and Jay are going to have a match probably for the right to fight Roman Reigns. They're going to fight each other to see who gets to fight Roman Reigns by that point. And I do think we're going to get that one-on-one showdown.
Randy, $5 saying maybe Stephanie will work with The Rock to buy WWE. That's a succession move. That is a Roy move to come back and pull that. That'd be good.
That would be amazing. Randy Hawkins is on fire tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much, Randy.
Great.
But yeah, the ending
for the part that The Rock's not even worth $1 billion and this company's worth about $9 billion, but we don't have to look into
The Rock can get money. The Rock's got friends.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know what though? Honestly, who were his backers on XFL?
It was Redbird Capital is his company that he started.
Crazy people, basically.
Here's what The Rock could do. The Rock could pool together investors and could include KSA in a minority share. But you put The Rock as the face of it. You have some other investors because there's cover. That's a lot more palatable for people, for them to be involved in minority role rather than be outright owners.
Yeah, it would take a lot of people, because it wouldn't just be The Rock. It wouldn't just be The Rock and Stephanie. They would have to have a lot of backers.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I'm in for $20.
Tony Khan will contribute like $10 billion to Kickstarter.
He's like, I want the perks.
And you know what the best part will be? It will be like every other Kickstarter, and then just come through with the project and just take your money.
I want Tony Khan to be the grand marshal of WrestleMania, like Liberace was that year. And just Tony Khan gets to come out and like welcome everyone to WrestleMania.
Would he do the cans like Liberace did?
He should. He absolutely should. They should have this year Michael Douglas reprising his role as Liberace.
He was tremendous in that movie.
That was such a good movie. It was like the plastic surgery part, like Rob Lowe, like that was creepy.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Great movie though. Highly recommend it. Also listen to Gilbert Gottfried's bit about Michael Douglas getting cancer from Catherine Zeta-Jones.
It's a great bit. Great film.
Top 5 stand-up bits of all time.
Yeah.
So good. Gilbert Gottfried, may he rest in peace. So that was SmackDown tonight. But yeah, these endings, Bloodline storyline, they gotta heat it up a little.
Solid start.
I'm loving this. I can't wait for next. Here's what I like about SmackDown that we don't see with Rampage that they need to improve on is that this is a television show where just like if you're watching HBO, you're like, oh my God, what happens next week? I'm going to watch. So now I'm very excited to see, is Jay going to come back next week? What's going to happen with the Bloodline? So I love it.
Nope. They're going to be, here's a big bowl of ranch dressing.
Jay better come back or else.
And I love Kevin Owens, but this is also like beneath Kevin to just sort of shoehorn him into this.
No, because this is a main event storyline, and I think okay, it's beneath what he was doing last year, but that might be the peak of his career because he was working with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
So to go from Stone Cold Steve Austin to the Bloodline, not really that much of a drop off.
Yeah, he's not hiding in a porta potty from Braun Strowman.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about Rampage live tonight from my old stomping grounds, the Cow Palace in San Francisco.
Let's talk about Randy Hawkins instead.
Yeah. It should be Friday Night Randy instead of Friday Night Rampage. Let's replace it with
Friday Night Hawkins.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Glenn. I'm sorry.
Keep thinking about Randy.
It didn't feel like a live one. I will tell you that. The crowd made it feel like a live one. The card, good. Not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Cow Palace. I was at the Cow Palace. I saw Korn, Ice Cube, and Rammstein back in the late 90s, and the Cow Palace looked beat as hell. And they almost disguised it pretty well tonight, except you could see the chairs. It was like, nope, that's still the Cow Palace.
Was that Ozfest?
Family Values Tour.
Oh, yes.
Korn's thing. Yeah, in the late 90s. First edition of that. Rammstein doing crazy things with pyro and sex toys on stage. Yeah, that was something. So playing like German industrial metal that always sounds angry. Even their like ballads sound angry. It's very, very harsh language. So we open tonight with the Blackpool Combat Club versus Top Flight versus the Aussie Open versus Dark Order.
Yeah.
What was the storyline? What was the story that we were telling with this match?
It's Rampage is live tonight. That's the storyline throughout the
Right.
show. Aussie Open though, they're so good.
They're
Yeah.
very good tactic. My criticism will never be about the wrestling. That's what frustrates me so
Right.
much. You see these incredible performers, and it's like, boy, I wish they were fighting over something. Like, I wish it wasn't just a wrestling match they just installed here. Especially Top Flight's one of my favorite acts to see live. But let's get some storylines going, man. Let's fight over women or something. Something.
It's right over
Anything.
women. Alicia Fox, like
Yeah.
Noam Dar that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. Aussie Open is incredible.
Fun
I have
match.
no criticism for them. It was a good match.
I thought it was a fun match. I wish there was some story attached to it, but it was a very, very fun match, fun opener. Crowd was great.
They've never been to the Bay Area before, so they're lit and they're excited about it. I almost
Yeah.
went to this show, but couldn't make it happen.
Are you excited for Revolution?
Not
On
in
a
the least.
scale of, I was going to say, and I'm not even going to talk about what we talked about earlier, but on a scale of 0 to every other AEW pay-per-view, I feel like my level of hypeness for this one is very low. And that's usually not the case because we wait months to see AEW pay-per-views here. I'm excited that there's not as many matches on the card as usual, but we do have an hour-long match. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't feel as hype as I feel like when I think about All Out, Double or Nothing. Even Revolution last year was so good. I'm not there in my level of excitement for this one.
Yeah, me neither. I'm more excited for Brock Lesnar versus Omos than I am for AEW Revolution.
He went there, bro. He went there.
I mean, honestly, the match I feel most invested in is Dustin and Swerve. And they it seemed like they closed that tonight.
You know, you're right about that. Okay, the match did not end up being all that great, and it wasn't any of the guys' fault except for Parker Boudreaux. But that is the one story they are telling for weeks is Dustin and Swerve.
Yeah.
It could be okay. So,
I'm fine. It's just I'm so not excited for that match that just to compare it to that, it's just like, wow, you're really not excited at all for this. Uncle Randy's back in the super chat lane. What a legend.
$10 saying,
Yeah.
Tony would yell like a Coke. WrestleMania, please love me.
that should have been the $100 super chat.
I bought this for you. Love me. Or if not, he will scream, let me love you.
Oh my God, Uncle Randy.
Oh, I love
Oh
that.
my goodness.
I'm sorry. I run around my apartment sometimes screaming at my dog, let me love you. I can totally see Tony Khan just chasing wrestling fans screaming. Let me love you. Come here.
Like, it's weird, right? I mean, in a way, okay, so Vince, like, there's no, in this modern day and age, and given everything we know, there's nothing charming anymore, even about making fun of like crazy old man Vince. Like, just go away. Like, we're not even gonna celebrate. Oh, it's a crazy old man with batshit nuts ideas. But that void coincided with the rise of like Tony kind of low-key losing his mind. That AEW media scrum, like, yeah, Tony is kind of the meme wrestling boss now.
Yeah.
He has taken that crown from Vince, and Vince should be happy, all things considered, to have let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, Tony Khan is kind of a peek into what Vince McMahon would have been like on Twitter, because Vince on Twitter, it's like somebody else is sending his tweets. It's not really him. And it's always like somebody's birthday or whatnot. You never really get to see into Vince's psyche, but this petty, crazy Tony Khan, that's what Vince would have been like, probably to a higher degree, but that's exactly
Look at
what it
that. Look at that.
Chris saying this is the first AEW pay-per-view I'm not ordering. I'm watching Issa's live stream instead.
Cheap plug. If you want to
Hey.
come, I'll keep you posted with what's going on. We will be drinking. We'll be talking. You know, it's non-filter watch-alongs. It's going to be a fun time. NYC Demon Diva on YouTube. We are this close to 20,000
Wow.
subscribers. Come on over and subscribe, please.
Hell yeah, I'll be up in there.
There you go.
I was talking about you earlier during the Cody and the Roman segment, and then I was like, I should shut up because I always see Alfred pop up here and there. I was like, one day he's gonna like tune in right when I'm talking all this crap.
Yeah, I want the smoke. No. I want all the smoke.
So BCC won that, and then
Who?
BCC, Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, okay.
I did not say what you think I said.
Yeah, what did you think he said? He said,
I forgot that, you know.
I was
Blackpool-
very
Blackpool.
careful to make sure I had the correct letters in the correct order,
Right. Got it.
because we are above making cheap innuendo jokes.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
never
never-
talk about Cody Rhodes and creaming in this
No.
podcast.
Oh, no. This is a family-friendly podcast. Like
PG.
Uncle Randy said, our cousin, his son, Randy's son, watches this.
Shame on us if we ever made an inappropriate joke.
But no, never mind. I'll tell you off the air.
No.
Remind me
Glenn.
later.
Okay,
Remind me later. Calvin, $2 saying Issa's not wrong. There you go.
Favorite words.
So yeah, I mean, I don't need to be right all the time as long as I'm not wrong. That's the key. So love this Jungle Boy promo, and I can't believe he was
Please
like,
stop. We call him Jungle Taker now. Come on.
But him saying like, you're so obsessed with my dad, I'm gonna sit there to say hi to him. Like, holy shit.
Jesus. Yeah, man. They're getting a little too dumb. They're getting a little too on the nose with all these like death jokes. Like this match
Talk
seems like a
about
death joke.
reality. They're like,
Yeah,
we're gonna add some
seriously.
reality to these promos. Too real, bro.
Luke Perry will be the special guest referee. Like, come on. Let's not keep going this direction.
Although this was the one thing that my wife and I were talking about, because he's talking about the shovel and burying him, and I was like, okay, in kayfabe, but the way Luke Perry, his final wishes for his remains is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah,
He's
they're
not-
in his farm in the middle of nowhere. He's not buried in
he's
a
wearing like
normal
a suit
cemetery.
to decompose and grow mushrooms, like in the woods.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
In
like
a farm that he owned in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere too.
Yeah, it's super cool. So when I saw
Well,
that tonight,
Christian
I was
is about to join him. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry for that.
like,
I mean,
but
mushroom.
Jungle Taker has to win this.
Jungle Taker will never not be funny to me. Called him
this
that
is
as soon as I saw him with the shovel on Wednesday.
Is
But
it
they
buried
gotta
alive
move it.
match or what?
They got it.
No. They have it's a buried alive match, but they have a different name for it. I don't know what it is. It's like last burial or something, but it is a buried alive match.
He needs to move on to a new feud against someone roughly his own age to stop making him seem like a kid. He needs to be Jungle Man after this is over.
How old is Jungle Boy? 13? So maybe Hook?
They are moving away from calling him Jungle Boy. They have been calling him Jack Perry. They say Jungle Boy Jack Perry, but I've noticed recently they've been just saying Jack Perry. And eventually Jungle Boy is going to just go away.
Yeah.
Which I don't, Jungle Boy's a fine name. He could be a man being called Jungle Boy. Lil Wayne is still Lil Wayne. He's in his 40s. Like,
I thought that was about because he's short though.
Maybe, yeah. I don't think it's a stature thing. It's like Lil Bow Wow took the Lil out of his name. I think he's always going to be Lil Bow Wow.
Interesting. Lil Kim still Lil Kim.
Forever.
Yeah.
She don't look
Nothing
like
wrong
Lil
with it.
Kim, but she will forever be Lil Kim to me.
Looks like a little cat.
And she likes it street style, no rules, which I
Hell
remember
yeah.
every time You Got Served is on.
Hell yeah.
How Many Licks is a great karaoke.
Fire. One of the greatest, very underrated track. One of the greatest hip hop songs ever.
I just love singing it when I lived in the Midwest in Indiana, and all these people will sing these country songs, and I'll be like, I'm up next, and I'll bust out some Lil Kim. How Many Licks? The whole bar mood changed immediately. It was great.
And when Lil Kim and Timberland are there, everyone better be wearing Depends. Alfred and I have discussed that bar multiple times off the air.
The greatest opening bar of it.
Like, did she really just say that? Like,
I love it.
I mean, the jump off, it's an okay song, but that line is just like, okay, maybe that was a
Comes out
placeholder, and it's just like, no, it's staying.
That's Lil Kim, man.
I prefer like all folks pissing. I guess it all depends. That's my favorite Depends line. Sorry.
Randy Hawkins,
Uncle Randy.
$5. I also want to
Uncle
hear
Randy.
another Alfred Excalibur impression. Excalibur seems more like a crank user than Jesus Christ. The views of Randy Hawkins are not shared by the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
Uncle Randy is. He's Uncle Randy, though. He can say whatever he wants. He does.
Yeah,
And
he
yes,
can
he's an
say whatever he
independent arbiter, and he does not need anybody to stand on his. But I will have an Excalibur impression ready for you, Uncle Randy. That's the least that we could do for you.
Oh, damn. Wrestling is art. NXT Roadblock, I am more excited for than Revolution.
Wow.
Ouch.
Wow.
I am excited for Roadblock though. No, low-key, not gonna lie. I
Yeah,
forgot about Revolution. I double booked myself. I took a gig ring announcing and then I forgot about Revolution. That's how non-excited I am for it.
I was stoked they were promoting Roadblock tonight on SmackDown. Like, I think they know this is kind of a stacked card for an NXT episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. Riho versus Emi Sakura tonight.
This was a very long match.
Yeah.
Rio getting that win.
Good for real. They're really putting her over. I was surprised that she went on Dynamite and happy to see it. So hopefully they do something with her because she's a great babyface and a great worker.
Killer Demon saying Jungle Boy versus Christian for the rights to bring the wall.
Oh, Lord.
Damn.
Good callback.
Yeah, this was a good match. Like
it
Rio.
was okay. It was too long. I can't
It's too
suspend my
long.
disbelief. I talk about it with the guys. I'll talk about it with the girls. It's very hard for me to just watch a Riho match. And
Do you think
she's so little and breakable. Like, it's, you know.
how much wrestling did they have before this tonight? I know there was probably at least like an hour before they went
probably
live.
filmed dark or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I thought the energy was pretty good tonight. Overall.
Yeah. Great crowd.
They're good,
I hope they
very
keep
good.
this energy on Sunday for Revolution, especially when
Hope
we're
so.
half hour into the Iron Man match.
Yeah, that's gonna
Revolution.
be-
Is that in San Jose
San Francisco.
It's Cow Palace, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
again?
Chase
Oh wait,
Center.
they're saying really.
Chase Center.
Oh, Chase Center's huge, much bigger
Chase
than
Center. Yeah, Chase Center. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just very curious. I will say this. I'm very curious about how this Iron Man match is going to go. It's the only match that they really built. A lot of these matches are rematches. Hangman and Mox, we've seen them like 4 times on free TV. There's a lot of rematches here. But I feel like this match could really make MJF as a wrestler. You know, you're having 60 minutes against Bryan Danielson. I don't know. I'm curious about how they pace
Okay.
it, how it's going to go, how many falls
Yeah.
we're going to get here. I'm excited for it.
I think
What
he's going to be fine. There's been this narrative about, oh, can MJF go this hour?
Right,
Which has
he
become like a
can.
real life narrative. I do think he's going to be fine in that match. The thing is, I love the Iron Man match style, but I like 30-minute Iron Man matches. Like,
Right.
I've been going back and watching all the WrestleManias and covering them on YouTube Shorts at Pro Wrestling Bits. And I saw the WrestleMania 12 main event, which in my mind as a child, you know, it was this big legendary match. My goodness, that first 30 minutes of that match was a slog between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And these Iron Man matches are overrated. That match is overrated. I don't want to be seeing an hour of an Iron Man match. I'm not.
My
looking forward to
issue with this is that that is just not a stipulation that I ever wanted for MJF, which did make me curious. I think MJF is a great wrestler, but I think he's so good at his character and at being a heel that we focus a lot on that. But when you see him in the ring, he's put on a lot of really good matches. But I just never thought, oh my God, I can't wait to see MJF in an Iron Man match. And I don't think I say that about a lot of people, but if you give me Kenny Omega and Bryan, I don't think I will be opposed. You know what I mean? It's just weird that these are the 2 guys that are getting that stipulation. I wonder if it would have been better if the match went on an hour without the stipulation. Kind of like what they did with Bryan and Omega, where that match read the time limit 60 minutes and you didn't even realize it because it was so good. I don't know, but it's just not a stipulation I ever dreamed that I would want for MJF.
What if they both come out there? We get the build up, we get the expectation. MJF just kicks Brian in the dick, and then Brian can't continue, and the match is over.
Imagine.
I mean,
That's what I would do. That's how I would book it.
I wouldn't be mad.
Really change expectations. Randy Hawkins, $5. Randy, thank you. Who wants to bet that by the end of the year, WBD drops AEW? Tony blames it all on cord cutting and puts it all on Honor Club on YouTube. I mean, it's not that expensive. I don't think they get a huge raise. Here's what I think happens. I think they get the same rights fee, but they get some perks for additional programming.
Right.
That's where the increase comes from.
I mean, they just gave him another show. So WWD cannot be that mad at the ratings of what AEW is doing. They just gave them another show.
Yeah, WBD, there's no doubt in my mind that they like AEW and they're more than satisfied with the product. The question is, how much money is AEW going to get? And I do think they're going to get an increase, but is it going to be enough to compete with WWE? And I don't think it is. I don't think they're going to get this huge increase because unfortunately, we're now on a downswing of all these networks wanting to spend all this money on streaming and all these TV deals. The bubble is about to burst, and I think it's going to hurt AEW.
We're definitely not going to hear about it because I'm sorry, Glenn. Tony was asked whether Warner Bros. Extended their 1 year, option before they gotta like negotiate again on the media call for Revolution, and he said he wasn't able to answer that question. So we're not going to find out what's going on there. What
if Warner Brothers gives AEW the rights to Michigan J. Frog and they move it back to the WWB?
Yo, that's my favorite character ever.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
Hello, my honey. Hello. Yes.
And what if we get that song again? Remember the
Refuse
WB song that they had that was making the rounds? Was it WB or
That frog
UPN?
that song, the Hello My Baby
Yeah.
song, used to be my ringtone for like 3 years.
Really?
I love
They-
that song. I love
had
that
that-
frog so much.
They had that promo video where it was like Steve Harvey, everyone's like having a street party, and they're just all dancing the big signs. So do that with the AEW roster.
Yeah, because they used to do the frog with all the shows that
Yeah.
they'd have on the Warner Brothers. He'd be dancing with them, so they should do that with the
I
wrestlers.
miss the frog.
Take that, CW. So Powerhouse Hobbs versus Serpentico. I mean, this was over quick. And
course it
then
was.
Hobbs calling out Samoa Joe and Wardlow next.
So happy that Hobbs won.
Me too. I'm glad they're doing something with him because this guy he's gonna be a star. And
Yeah.
I like that they're pushing him. And I like that he won this brass ring. I don't like that they make them carry that ridiculous ring around because it just looks so. At least make it a
Looks
briefcase
like a
or something
golden
like that.
toilet seat. Say it.
Yeah. But I love it.
Work.
We're doing something with him.
Yeah. Takashita's teaming up with Don Callis.
Great. Why?
He was
Yeah,
just
speaking
going
of
to head
people that are
back
doing
to
something.
Japan. So, you know.
I like that he said he's going back to Japan. You could hear the live crowd like, no. They love Takeshita, so they're going to do something with him. And I know eventually he'll turn on Don Callis, but I like that they're investing in him now.
Yeah. Oh, this Mark Briscoe promo started off kind of funny and then really took a turn.
Mark Briscoe for life.
This was great.
Lovable. How can you not love Mark Briscoe? I mean, this guy, unbelievable.
This was really, really good. Yeah, very entertaining.
He really is. He's always been. Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, props to him. To be the spirits that he's in and doing what he's doing right now after everything that family has gone through. Nothing but respect.
Absolutely. So Dustin, Keith Lee took on the Mogul affiliates tonight. Swerve and Parker, I think, work very well together. I think this match, there's been such a build up to this. I'm glad that Dustin and Keith got the win. Yeah, like it's almost a shame if this is the end of the line for this, because I've really enjoyed this story. What did you think of this match, Alfred?
I thought it was fine. Parker, I mean, it was his first match. It definitely seemed like it was like his first real match. He did seem to, whether it was get lost or seem a little green or whatnot. But I did like a lot of what they did. I like the build up to this. I thought Dustin is always the fountain of youth and looked great in there. But it wasn't my favorite match. It wasn't a great main event, I'll say. I don't think it should have been in the main event spot. I think maybe they could have cut some time off this and maybe opened the show with it. But I guess the build up with the build up, yes, it's a main event build up. I just didn't think this match really held up.
Yeah. Issa, what'd you think?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Alfred said. I just can't believe that Dustin Rhodes is still doing this at the caliber that he's doing it. And I give him so much props. Every time he comes out, he's really putting on amazing matches. And I actually do think that AEW has booked him in a smart way. You don't see him out there every week. So when he comes out, you get a pop. It feels like a big deal. Yeah, I think Swerve and Parker work well together, but it was a little bit, I don't know. Not my favorite thing that I see Parker do. And hopefully he got those nerves out of the way and he'll do a little bit better next time. But I wasn't a big fan of it. But pop for Dustin and Keith Lee getting the win here. Keith Lee with the gray hair. I like it. Just gonna say that. It's a vibe.
Randy, $5 saying Kenny Omega can dress like Michigan J Frog, sing the song in the ring. Cornell will have a field day with that.
Oh,
Then
man, the
I
Cornette
can
podcast.
Oh my God. Yo, I can actually see the Elite doing something like that.
Oh, me too. 100%.
Mick Cloud, $5 saying, would you be up for the possibility of WWE, AEW, and New Japan coming together and making their own network? I mean,
it will be great. It's not going to happen, but it will be great.
New Japan and AEW, more likely. WWE is getting those peacock dollars.
Yeah, that's the only thing about this conversation we'd have hypothetically about Tony Khan maybe buying WWE. The only reason I'd lean him over Saudi Arabia, among other reasons, is because then you could do the dream matches. You could do AEW versus WWE. You could do New Japan versus NXT. You could do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Good night for wrestling, though, overall tonight. But yeah,
It was
AEW's
fun.
got
It
a
was
pay-per-view
entertaining.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a
Sunday,
good night of
Sunday.
wrestling.
That was good. I liked Tuesday better. NXT was really hot this week.
NXT was a good show this week.
You said, did you see
Excellent.
NXT?
No, I was getting drunk. Told you guys I was taking the time off. I wasn't gonna not do the most with it.
Gigi Dolan in one promo became the biggest
I-
baby face.
So I
Amazing.
will say I came back to my streams on Wednesday, and everybody in my chat told me that I needed to go back and watch it. I went out of my way to seek it out. I thought she did incredible in that. That is the one thing of NXT that I have seen. Too many people in my chat. I was like, okay, all of you guys are agreeing on this. It's very rare to get wrestling fans to agree. I went and saw it, and I thought she was amazing.
AEW is Sunday. So now AEW Sunday, WWE
Sunday.
Saturday pay-per-views.
Ugh.
Oh, unless it's WrestleMania, the next WWE pay-per-view
Yeah.
is 2 nights.
2 days.
Nights.
2 days.
WrestleMania goes Inglewood.
Hell yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. Alfred Konuwa is at This Is Nasty. Issa's an NYC Demon Diva. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. See how much better we get along once we're past talking about all the Roman Cody stuff?
No,
It
that
was
stuff
fun
is
and you
too,
know
though.
it.
Yeah.
It was
it's
fun and
fun.
you know it.
It gets my juices going. Never
I
mind.
feel so titillated.
It makes me want to cream.
On that note, we'll catch you back here next time. Tune in Sunday for AEW. See you later. Have a good night. Thanks, Randy.
Bye.